In this video, I will demonstrate a method for being able to generate this type of a shape, which is rectilinear, and joining it to this shape, which is circular or cylindrical, and this shape, which is spherical. So let's take a look at methods for being able to join these types of shapes. So I'm using this to generate the shape of a chess piece, the king's crown. So the way we're going to do this is that we need to have proper geometry to be able to generate a rectilinear shape from this cylindrical one. So we're going to take this shape, which was created by lathing a spline profile, and we're going to, in order to be able to generate this cross shape from the top of it, we need to create enough vertices here that we can reconfigure them into the shape of a cubic form. So in order to do that, I'm going to go to vertex mode, select that center vertex, and bevel it. Now if it doesn't bevel like you see here, then drop the tool and optimize. Select it again and bevel it. Now you see it's beveling correctly. That generates this large n-gon in the middle, but that's fine for the time being. So we'll drop our tool, go to a top view, and select these top 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 vertices and scale them to the center to flatten them. Drop the tool, select these 7 vertices, do the same, scale them to the center, drop the tool, select all of these on the left hand side, scale them in the same way, and then finally these vertices on the right hand side and scale them. So now we have a rectangular n-gon here that we can use to generate our cross. So before we do that, let's select all of the vertices and reconfigure them with our scale tool. So we want to make it thinner, of course, and do so without overlapping any vertices. If you overlap vertices, then you get this darkening here that Cinema tells you that the vertices have overlapped. So you don't want that, of course. So just scale it to something like that. Now we're going to go to our front view here so we can see the progress we're making toward creating this shape. Select the polygon in the middle, and with the move tool and holding down Control, create a segment. That's going to be a control edge eventually when we apply a subdivision surface to this. Then pull it up to wherever the arms begin. A little further to the top of the arms, and then to the top of the cross. So we end up with this kind of a shape. Now we need to extrude the arms. So in live select mode, we're selecting these polygons and those polygons, and then with the extrude tool, D on the keyboard, we extrude those out to however far we want and scale them upward to get that cross shape. Drop the tool. So now we have the basis for our cross. So we need a vertex in the middle here, and the way we're going to get that is by using the knife tool in single line mode and just connect up those two vertices through the center. That gives us a center point. And also we need some control edges, so we'll connect those up. So select these vertices on those two outer edges. Scale them outward to serve as control edges and to give more room here for the hole that we're going to create in the top of this. Drop the tool. Select that center point and bevel it. It will initially it will bevel with just 4 sides, and so we need to add additional subdivisions to get the roundness that we want. So add 2 subdivisions. The interior will be filled with this grid. So before you drop your bevel tool, go down to topology, the topology section, and select corner n-gons and activate that. And now we have just a single n-gon in the center here. Now we can drop our tool and select that polygon and delete it. So now we have our round hole. Now in order to control the edges, we need to connect these vertices here with edges on the sides of our cross. So knife tool and edge in single line mode. Just go around and connect those edges. And connect these edges with this point here so that you end up with a quad 1, 2, 3, 4. So you end up with quads throughout. 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So we have nice quad configuration. Now it's just a question of putting the sphere on top. So that is just a standard sphere. Scale it so that it's appropriate to our size. Something like that. Whatever you want. You've got 12 edges down here, so the sphere needs to have 12 segments so it can be connected correctly. Make it editable, and what we're going to do is use stitch and sew to sew these two shapes together. So we need a hole on the bottom of our sphere. So with loop select in polygon mode, I've selected that. Optimize it, get rid of that extra vertex in there. Now in order for stitch and sew to work, both meshes need to be the same object. So here in my object manager, I'll select both objects, right mouse click, connect objects and delete. So now we have a single object. Just rename that cross. In edge mode, we'll double click in the with the move tool. So both of them are selected. Have the edges lined up here that are going to be connected. Then right mouse click, stitch and sew. Hold down the shift key and drag from one vertex to its opposing vertex and let go. Drop the tool. And now we have the cross and sphere connected. I'll just select the sphere down, turn on our subdivision surface, check it, and looks pretty good, just like that. Of course, we need to add control edges all around the edges of the cross, so we'll just use these edges here, and on the back take advantage of edges that are already there and scale those to the corners like that. And add additional edges with a knife tool in loop mode where needed. All around. To our subdivision surface. And there we have a nice representation of a king's cross coming from a cylindrical object to a rectilinear object and back to a spherical object, all nicely merged together.